Hello. How is everyone doing today? No, we got a lot of ghost streams going right now. She always has like the cutest boards. And Twitch has the most annoying ads. Oh, for the love of peace. Yeah, look at that Go board. Oh, I cannot deal with the squiggly lines though. Oh, the squiggly lines are no joke. Is that like a watery texture? I don't know what that is, but the squiggly lines are no joke. That's cool that there's a ladybug on the last move played. Yeah, she gets really creative with these, and the star points are little flowers, the little grassling things. Really, really creative. Paul's doing GoProblems.com. Yours playing on OGS. Ooh, GoNoob. Who is GoNoob? Noob 30Q. Wonder who this person is. Maybe a new streamer? They have one follower. It's a new ghost streamer. That's nice. Got a new ghost streamer. All the beginner bots are down. Why are all the beginner bots down? I'm taking away the bots on Mega Dragon from the campaign because they just don't work. I may take away the bots completely, at least for now, because so many of them are just not working, and then like it looks like it's Mega Dragon's fault. I wonder if they'll still be live in a couple hours. It's cool, new streamer. Oh boy. 19 minutes until the lesson. Not done the daily yet. Just do the daily real quick. Y'all went 9-1. Nice. Pretty impressive. I think it's just here, right? There's no... Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting tricky ones. Hello, Kami. Welcome, welcome. I want to say it's G19. Today I have a lesson with a student in about 15 minutes. Right now I'm just hanging out for another 15 minutes. If I go here and they take the eye, I go right here. Right? If I go here and they go there, I go right here, they can push. I think I'm on the right track though. If I go here and they go there, maybe I start here. If I start here, they block, I go there, they take. Now when I go here, it's a Salvatore. If I go here, they go anywhere else, they die. If I go here, they go there, they die. If I go here and they throw in, I can make the eye, and it doesn't matter what they do, or I can just go here, then it doesn't matter what they do. So I want to say the answer's here. There's probably multiple next moves. And now I can either go here. No, if I go here and they take, so I have to take first, because if I go here and they take and I make the eye, they can push. So I have to take first, then they're going to go here, then I go there, they take, I cut to make this a Salvatore. Yeah. What? No, that was, what? That felt right to me. Is this a ko? This is feeling like a ko. There, Hane, push, Hane, Atari, there. By Atari right here, I take, yeah. So this is feeling like a ko. Guess not. Oh, I'm not going to be able to solve this one. This one's beyond me. I know the first move's like right here, but I don't really know beyond that. Yeah. There, I don't know. I don't know for that one. All right, but I thought I had the other two. Wow, I'm way down here. Everyone else got that one. What did I do wrong? This doesn't change anything. Yeah, because that's correct. And then this is correct. Okay, so if I just go here, I get the answer. Then here, it's Gote, white gets 3 points. If I go here, Gote, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 3 points, because white will have to fill 3 points. I go here, Gote, 3 points. Yeah, it's still 3 points, no matter what. So this cut is fine. Now, if you go here, the Atari, you do this, it's a ko. And a ko is not the answer. Okay, so it was missing 2 correct answers. That's unfortunate. I guess it's better have it to not cut. But still. Open this in a new tab. Solve 16 times, mistakes 28. That's about the ratio I want for a Dawn problem. Oh, that's so dumb. But I guess if I didn't get it wrong, I wouldn't be able to fix it for other people. Oh, what about this one? Oh, I could have found this move. That was within my ability. This doesn't even feel 5 Dawn. This feels like 1 Dawn. This was within my ability. I was looking for a connection, not for life. Yeah, this is within my ability. Unfortunate. I could have solved that one. This one, I think you just have to memorize the answer unless you're really strong. Yeah, that would be hard to remember. That would be very hard to remember. Ooh. About 9 minutes before the lesson. Actually, before I jump into it, I want to use the restroom before I get stuck in the lesson. Be right back. Okay, how is Paul doing with these Smego? He's still on GoProms.com. Watch this while we wait. I hate these ads.
I guess it's kind of like how, like, if you can't cut, then you should peep. It's kind of like a similar principle. This isn't working directly, so I should consider this one.
That would be a hard move to
Like, the
find.
move white wants to play is G1, and it doesn't work when I play G1, nor F1. So if white wants to play G1, I should bother white somehow. And the way to bother white is to play E1, so that when they play G1, we can cut. Oh, this one, it just looks so unintuitive. I guess when I capture, I'm threatening to connect underneath. So I think I can just capture, right? Capture.
I don't know if I would have found
E1.
E1.
I can capture, or
That's a
capture
rough.
white Atari.
That's a rough go problem.
Then I can connect underneath, and then it becomes ko. Yeah. Wow, that one's actually kind of cool though. Yeah, I guess when here, if white Ataris, after here, capture. Wow. Okay. I think I'm going to try 101 Weiqi now.
I'm curious what Ill's experience will be on 101.
Which I think I have them set to what? 7Q. Okay, I think we'll start at 7Q. I start the struggle on 101 Weiqi at 6Q, which I don't know if that's normal, but I swear they're hard. It's weird how, like, it seems to be rankings on, like, Fox and OGS don't translate to, like, rankings on Samego sites. Like, I swear being a 6Q on 101 Weiqi is like being a Dawn player.
So if black goes here,
it's weird.
You have to worry about white doing this.
Okay, but this is 7Q, I think. So let's start with some 7Q, and then I think I'll work up to some 6Q.
If black goes here, white goes here. And there's a potential for a ko. So if I go here, white goes there. This is not 7Q.
I think it's just here, right? No. No.
Here is an interesting move because once you go here, no, because that leaves the tiger's mouth escape route.
And if I play this one, obviously there's a liberty problem for black in the corner.
So if I go here, white goes there.
Because actually, I don't think there's a way to really form two eyes with this white group. So I should liberty race and play
white
this
goes
one.
here. I take white connects.
And then
that's
after
not
here,
right.
Atari, black connects.
I have no
Atari.
idea what the answer
it
is.
Be here.
Oh, it's white to play.
If that one. I guess just connect. Okay, obviously black is threatening to live, so I have to throw in at this moment.
This is why it always needs to be black to play.
Did you see that? The website thinks I was impressive.
Okay, this one looks pretty easy.
if the
Yeah, it looks like you
descend
just cut
there,
R18.
and then white Ataris and I connect, and then white descends and I
Maybe it's just because I
Atari.
know the shape, but R18 seems obvious to me.
Well, at the very least, I can connect. And white, if white tries to connect, there's Atari, and then what? Even maybe just here, and then white there, and then me here.
Yeah, maybe I think it's because I know the shape. This might be a hard move to find otherwise.
Here, Atari connects. White there, me Atari, white connects. Me here, black.
All right, I
white
think I need to
there.
jump into my lesson now.
I think honestly, it's just connects.
Okay.
I think if I play here, it's not working.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, just
Okay.
fine.
Okay. The got the Go problems. Don't Taniki so fast. Aim for 500 games. All right, tell me where we are at since last time.
I did all my squeeze and throwing tactic homework. Got that done.
3 times?
And 3 times, yeah, it really helped.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
got to where it was like didn't have to think about it very much, and I can't really say I've noticed them too much in my games so far, but that just might be my games not having situations. I guess we could see, but
Mhm.
yeah, played 1 to 2 games every day. Not all of them were on this account here, but
Yeah, sorry, you have another account
Yeah.
too.
yeah.
Okay, you linked me something, right?
Yeah, it was actually my NAOL game from yesterday, and I checked again, and it's not being reviewed tonight, so
Okay.
it should be okay.
$10 points, not bad. Are you
Yeah, it was a good game.
black or
I was black.
okay?
My opponent played really solid, and I made a bunch of influence
started.
in the lower, well, kind of on the right side and on the lower side, and I didn't really know how to use it, I don't think. So you'll see. I think my opening was all right, but
Okay, perfect so far. I would prefer to go high because you already have a low stone. And since
Okay.
you have support on both sides of the stone, typically I say go high. This isn't that bad. But if you go high, they jump back.
Okay.
You can look something like this. You could also go here, but this does invite a fight. It's an option. If you go here, it means usually you want to do something else. So it means you probably want to get over here sooner. But it's possible. Feels too early. You have the initiative right now. This is too early because black's position is bigger than white's. Also, Classy Approach says to go ahead and do this to make your base, and then you can
Okay.
jump. I want to say your position is looking bigger than White's position. Especially if we start adding on the top. It's pretty close. It's a pretty close game, but I think I would prefer to build Blacks over than invading Whites, but I guess it's stylistic.
Yeah. Right here, or maybe it
That's
was
interesting.
one move further. AI. When I checked it through AI was like, instead of invading, you should have gone at like H15 or H14 or something like that. So like make a huge Moyo kind of a thing. But anyway,
You could go here. This is threatening this move.
okay.
This is more Moyo oriented.
Okay, gotcha.
Careful with this one. They have a stone right here, and there is a double peep. So this could be
Okay.
annoying.
With that
probably-
white move, yeah, what should I do?
Probably here or attach. And if they do something right here, you could just connect under like that. Maybe attach is better. That way you can get something along these lines. You could also potentially do this, but this is usually not good. But this variation does exist for emergencies.
Okay.
You could also just straight up ignore it. Like, you don't have to jump. You have the slide right here. Because they're so far
That's
away
true.
with H3, you actually don't have to respond.
Okay.
Maybe build. Could try to build something.
Yeah, that probably would have been better.
Yeah. The problem with this one is you got to be very careful when they have another stone, because this peep can be annoying. But it's not like you can't ever deal with it, right? It's not like this is impossible to deal with. Otherwise, we would just never play the 2-space. You can squeeze this position. You just got to be it's one of those like annoying moves, so you just need to have a plan for it. I think this one is also potentially fine locally. Yeah, maybe if you're fine with giving White the influence here. Maybe you're like, I don't care if White gets influence, my influence is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that helps you should be fine. As long as you don't get destroyed by this move, I think it's fine. Okay. I'd like to be surrounding more. But I understand the want to go here.
I felt like I was denying it a base by doing that.
You've already denied the base with these two moves. White can't make a base here.
Because if they slide kind of under, I guess that's not enough to make a base, is it?
Slide where? So if I go, say like right here or something.
Like if I was envisioning them playing like at C12 or C13 and kind of like getting closer to the edge, but now that I think about it, they wouldn't be able to do much even if they did that. So yeah.
It's not the end of the world. It gives them a couple more forcing moves, but you also get some points for it. And as long as you're making profit, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're making profit and you're fine. No, that one you block. That one you block. There's only one cutting point now. And this is only 3, so I say only. This is pretty easy to deal with, I think. Maybe just connect. Connect is easiest.
They can't live in there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But the moment you go here, now I have even more options. But it looks like it's also okay. Typically, though, this is 2 cuts, and this This is one cut. Typically, this is better.
Okay.
Looks like there's no immediate punishment, though, so it looks like you're okay. So far, you've played really well. Nothing obviously bad. You're really, really flat everywhere, though.
Right.
You're profiting, though.
Didn't know how to. I guess
As
her
long as you
invasion
get
was.
profit, it's not that big of a deal. Usually, though, you want to be surrounding the weak group. That's typically what you want to be doing, is surrounding it. You've gotten profit, though, so it's not like the end of the world. I see single-digit Qs try to surround stuff and then never get anything. So I don't really hate this. So let's see what the score is. Oh, I guess you should hit estimate score instead of putting a bunch of marks on the board. This is not accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm going to assume I have to fix that at some point in the game. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Yeah. We'll say 48, 49. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's call it 50, just to make it easy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Give it 2 more points because you have to do something.
There's an invasion at the 3-3 there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that invasion, so I didn't do it throughout the game
Okay.
because I didn't know what to do, but
Well, let's deal with that in just a second. 30, 31, 32, 33. Plus Comey, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So you're up by 10 if white doesn't get anything here.
okay.
So, oh, there's also the right side, though. We got to take that into account. So there's 2 spaces. The white needs 10 points. So, yeah, I would say it's an even game because there should easily be 10 points in this. But we do have the initiative right now, which is nice. So the next big moves that I'm seeing are going to be A, B, C, optionally D. Probably not, though. We might just give that corner. So I think I'm going to say A, B, or C. Now, if I were to go in here, there's a couple ideas to consider. The simplest one for white is here. And just keep the points. If you go here, black has, this is more points locally, but black has better endgame. So you have to be able to get to A4, ideally. If they go for the fight, then you technically have some Aji in here.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not convinced it'll play out that way, but that's like what your aim is for, right? Oh, wow, we do go here immediately. It's crazy. Because if they do this, you can connect under. There's a connection under right here.
Disconnect. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's threatening life.
Okay.
This is getting complicated because now it's trying to make a Miai out of the corner in the bottom. Anyway.
Yeah, AI is usually complicated for me.
There's not just one variation that I can just show you, but I can show you like the aims and there's about 100 different life and death problems in there. So unfortunately, this is going to be corner life and death. But if white wants to fix it, white should go here. That's why I didn't count it. we can assume that white will get it, but there's always that chance that you can take it away, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, game is pretty close, so I don't really dislike your position. I want to say that you probably could have had a lead, though. Like, what if I had gone here?
Yeah.
And here.
Like pressured that group instead of just.
Yeah, I think you could have
Sticking
attacked a
aside.
little bit better. That would
Yeah.
have given you a bit more of a lead. This is an even result, so you're not losing, but you're also not winning. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Right here.
All right. I'm always worried about people honeying at the head of my 3 stones because I've been burned before by that. But
This isn't a Hane. This is a wedge.
oh, well,
Hane-
okay. Yeah.
Hane at the head of 3, yeah, is good shape for them, but this is a wedge because you put into Atari.
Yeah.
Um,
And
you
it
it's
gets
not
me
a
a
huge
connection.
deal, but you do have a lot of Aji.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably would have been better to have kind of more of a tenuous connection rather than just no connection at all.
And
to
you can
the-
also go
my-
here if you're that worried about it. But
Yeah.
typically, it's probably not a big deal. Whoa, no, you have to block. You have to block. This is the whole point of this thickness, is to get this square right here. And go, these 4 stones are trading territory for this square. So if you go right
Okay.
here and I jump in, you've given territory, but what did you get in exchange?
Yeah, I think this is where I started to go downhill. I didn't understand that concept.
Hmm.
I was just like, oh, I need to make eye shape.
Yeah, in the middle game,
So, yeah.
in the middle game, you should be thinking about these 4 central squares more. Like, this is kind of what you're after in the middle game. Obviously, weak groups first, but when it comes to big moves, you're like, I want to either split the square, get the square, or destroy the square, right? And so white still has the edge, and the edge is obviously very large, but it's not like it's the only place to play. So
Yeah.
when you got thickness right here, you gave white this, so you should get this square in exchange. And that doesn't look like a bad trade because the square is bigger than the edge, right? But of course, it's harder to defend the center, so kind of evens out. But in the game, if white jumps right here, you did not get this square, and white did get the edge. But you also haven't gotten this square because this white is looking into it. So now
Yeah.
you owe another shoulder hit, but then I can just reduce it. So it feels like you're a move
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah, for sure.
Typically, we don't like touching, but okay. Just connect. Connections are great. Connections are your friend. This also makes this block right here Gote for white, which is important because you have a bunch of Aji right here. Yeah, you have a bunch of in-game Aji, right? That's kind of the point. You have a bunch of in-game Aji because of the Atari. But without that, this block now is Sente, and now white gets to fix it in Sente instead of Gote.
Okay.
So quite a big difference in in-game. Oh, you ignored. No, this is your base. Yeah, that's your base. Maybe you'll sacrifice and squeeze. This is really uncomfortable. This is your base. Base is first. This is a classy
Yeah,
approach. Defend your bases. Basic classy approach. This move is doing almost nothing. You're looking at the right, but if you go in, they can cut you. So you can only do this, and then did you really get that much?
That's not really that much.
Yeah, so this move is doing almost nothing. Yeah, your moves are just Dame right now. Okay, fixing is good. This is a little more active because that's a ladder. So it's a little bit faster, but it's fine. There's a peep right here, though. It's not good, but I'm saying shape-wise, this is probably slightly better. Or just connect straight up. Straight up connections are usually okay. Yeah, so you've gotten maybe 5 points here for all these moves.
For all those moves, yeah.
The problem is white also got minimum 5 points right here, plus all of this. So you're losing value.
So at this point,
so
I believe at this point I was like, man, I've got a huge wall with like almost no potential. Like, how do I use this? So yeah, it was difficult. I wasn't sure what to do.
yeah, you either have to somehow entrap this area or attack something in that area. Because walls, by definition, are 0 points, basically. Walls are good at doing something, but they have to do something. By themselves, they do nothing. Right? So you either have to use it to support an invasion, you have to use a wall to attack something, you have to use a wall to defend something, defense, offense, something usually, right? The wall has to do some basic idea, but by itself, it does nothing. You have to follow it up. There has to be a follow up, and right now, it's not obvious where the follow up is. Right. And so a wall that doesn't have a follow up is worse than just straight territory. This is getting big.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's threatening something. It's good. I see a knight's move immediately. Can I cut it?
Yeah, I think that's what I did, if I recall correctly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, use the wall to cut something. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Probably you want to Hane.
Because I have so much strength to support the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to attack right here. No, this is so passive.
Well, I figured they were already cut, so, and they just had a big stick with no eye shape, so I don't know.
This looks a lot scarier. This for white, this looks a lot scarier.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, how are you going to play in this area as white?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so I'm not saying this isn't good for you, but it feels very passive. Okay, let's check the cuts. What's the response?
I figured I could get netted there. So
you figured, or you know? Where's the net?
L15. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, this is the cutting point. It's hard to net with cutting points because they can break through the cuts. So they usually need an extra move, but now there's no net.
Okay.
White knew it. I was like, I'm gonna die. Okay. Ooh, and white's starting endgame. It's good endgame timing as long as white doesn't die. So let's make sure white has to live. I want it to be like, hey, where's your eyes? Show me the eyes. I don't believe you. Show me the eyes. And once they show you the eyes, then you can go play endgame. No. This is so much bigger. This is like, this move 6 is like 18 points. Move 6. So this has to be more than 18 points. Yeah. If you ever do the calculations, you're comparing all of this so this is what the maximum value could be for white. So you do the first value, so you say how much did black lose on this move, and then you take the next value, how much did black lose on that move, and you half it, and you take the next value, how much did black lose on that value, and quarter it, and then you add the original plus the half plus the quarter, and then you do the same thing for black. How much did you gain, plus how much will white lose, half that, and probably you don't need to do another one, and that ends up being around 15 to 18 points when you add it all up together.
Okay. I'll
versus
probably not remember that, but
just try to remember that this block right here or push is like 15 to 18 points. And then you have to say, is my move bigger than 18 points? And that's a no, it's only 3 points. On the flip side, can you threaten more than 18 points? So if they ignore and go here, did you take away that many points? No, because they gained just as much as they're losing. So actually, this is just really, really big. Yeah, this is really big. I think you're too focused on the center. So your end game, you need to understand the first and second line moves are so much bigger. Because what is white threatening right now? If I go right here and make 5 points, where is white going to get 5 points? Maybe white goes in, right? Okay, so let's say white gets nothing. And if you had responded, say you go right here. Let's compare these two. You gained 3 or 4 points. Does that make sense?
by being a move behind, yeah, but
You gained 3 or 4 points in this area, but you gained 5 points right here, and white can gain 5 points right here. Plus there's follow-ups versus this one and this one, there's no follow-ups.
okay.
So this is probably 3 or 4 times the value of those moves. And this is just a 2-point move, because if white goes right here and you block, white didn't gain anything. Versus you going right here, you gained 2 points. So it's a 2-point Gote move.
All right. So I think I was misunderstanding the meaning of Sente. Like as white was making those moves, I was like, well, I guess I got to respond because like I could be damaged.
You're thinking of
I could be
Sente
damaged.
as an absolute value. Sente is
Yeah.
a weight. A mathematician put it in temperature, but the
Yeah.
weight of Sente is its follow-up, if that makes sense. So you
yeah.
have to think of Sente as a responding to a certain amount of pressure, rather than being like, I have to respond. You have to say, if I ignore this, what is the damage? And that's how valuable that move is in terms of Sente.
And is there something more important than this? Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be something more important or more valuable or something, which is the easiest to understand in game. In middle game, it's really difficult to comprehend. But usually in middle game, it's like, are they going to get like attacking follow-ups that are going to give a bunch of influence? Then that's probably going to be worth a lot more, right? Because in middle game, it's more about control than territory. But yeah, Sente is a pressure, a weight, a temperature. It is not an absolute value. What? Who would fix that? What? That's a 1-point move. Because if you take 2 stones for 1 stone, it's 1 point. White played a 1-point move.
Yeah. And then I cut them off and threatened their eyes, but they did a good job. So
this is not good. This 2 points while threatening their life is good, but this one forces this move, which forces this move. This is Gote. So maybe this is better. No, maybe doing nothing is best. Because every move in here is Sente for white. So attacking this probably is just not going to be good. Or not going to be realistic. Because every single move in here is basically Sente for white. Yeah, like, this is impossible to kill. Every single move threatens all your cutting points. So unless you can defend one of those while threatening that, sometimes fixing the cutting stones and forcing them to defend themselves is worth less than forcing them to take the cutting stone. In the end game. In the middle game, that is completely opposite. But in the end game, sometimes the cutting stone is just 2 or 3 points, and taking away the eye can be worth more than 2 points. Sometimes.
interesting.
This is why you lost right here. Because it was a 10-point game. This is already like a 30-point move. In theory.
Okay.
Now white's getting all the first line moves. Yeah. Ooh, chance. No. Here. Where else can we go? Here. Here to threaten the monkey jump, and a monkey jump is a dozen points in Sente, so no, it's like 6 points in Sente. So it's like 12 to 15 points, I think. So you're threatening a 12 to 15 point move. They'll get that one, unfortunately. But they'll have to respond to that. And then you can go here. Yeah, you see all of these moves you can get to first.
Before I respond to the other thing, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, white gets that one, which honestly I wanted you to get it, but the problem is this is only worth 4 points. So when black goes here, white only lost 4 points. So the follow-up being only 4 points makes it not Sente all the time. So versus over here, if white had done something, this one white ignores is worth a lot more than 4 points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So make sure you're looking at the follow-up of the move to determine if it's Sente or not.
Which one is the most severe or whatever?
Yeah, this one is just better. This is terrible eye shape, okay? Make sure you remember this is terrible eye shape, but it's more points. So if you don't need eye shape, then this one's better.
Oh, okay.
Because now when I go here, you might have to fix. Good. It's fine, I guess. Good. Chance. I guess not really. Because this is an unwinnable co. So
yeah, I thought about doing it, but yeah.
The threat. Yeah, okay, it's unwinnable. Just check. Usually you want to fight it, but it's fine. See, white should go here.
4 points. So I need to work on my end game, apparently.
Yeah, end game is very important in modern play because a lot of people, after Lee Chong Ho popularized the end game like a dozen years ago, a lot of people started getting really good at end game. So ever since like 2014, people have been much better at end game. I don't know if it's true at your level, but is this necessary? At Dawn level, everyone kind of knows the basics of end game.
Yeah.
Here? Or here, actually? What's the follow-up? Yeah, it's no follow-up.
Okay.
So 2 point Gote. Here, if you have the choice of, okay, so if you go here, 2 points. If they go here, 3 points. You go here, they go here, 1 point, right? So this is 2 points, but you keep the initiative. This is 2 points, but you lose the initiative. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. The idea is you're trying to keep the initiative. So if you have the choice of taking away points versus gaining points, and they're both equal in territory, usually taking away is the better habit. As long as they're both equal. Are you an Atari? You're not an Atari.
Well, I thought we're kind of in Dame now, so I was like, I'm gonna have to fill it in anyway. And I couldn't see any more Atari moves. I mean,
Okay.
Sente moves. So.
Okay. Where can you lose a point? That's a point. Okay,
Whoa.
there's a goose. Okay, so that
Yeah.
means you want to fix one of these. This one will never be a goose to Tsuji, right? This one will always be fixed. As long as you don't miss an Atari, this one will always be fixed. So fix the ones that might die.
Okay.
Careful. Usually your best bet is just connect. Connect any cutting points is usually the best. You never know when something activates. It's really annoying.
Yeah. I spent
Okay.
like a long time reading that out before I played it, and I
I
thought
mean, it doesn't really
was
matter as long as you
Yeah.
don't screw it up. But typically, the way you screw it up is the cutting points. That's the way some
Yeah.
things will go wrong. This game, I think you made a lot of in-game mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Your opening was pretty good, though.
And I didn't understand that concept of exchanging influence or exchanging the side for
Okay.
the quadrant in the middle.
That's
like
probably the only middle game thing that
Yeah.
you need to worry about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, learning that this has 100 life and death problems in it. Your opponent's not exactly great at the center either, though, so I think it was fine.
Yeah.
See what your performance was. Eventually. Okay. You're opening pretty good, almost 80%. Middle game, though. There's the middle game. And the end game, 89% to 64%.
Okay.
Very large difference in the end game. The middle game, I think, lots of mistakes. But that's kind of accurate considering the rank. If you had... So I think Idon would be 80% opening, 70-something percent middle game, like 70 or 80% end game would be Idon. The entire game, 55%, is probably accurate, but you can see that you can probably bump that number up. If you're at 70-something percent, probably low don. 80% is probably mid don to high don overall. So that's just a number you could look for. But this is not like a perfectly sized situation, so it's just a nice guesstimate, especially since you'll play better some games and worse other games. But it's a nice little reference to have.
That's cool. I've never seen that on
It's
AI Sensei.
It's a new feature that they came out with last year. I had it first, and I stole it from chess.com, and then they stole it from chess.com or me. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's very useful. OGS also has it, but it's not public. I don't know why. I posted on the forum. I was like, hey, can we make this public? Because the numbers exist. Like, I already know they exist. I've seen the API calls and stuff. Like, can we just like add a graph so we can see it? All right. Do you have another game for us to look at?
Yeah, if you go to my account, *A**, I've played a decent number of games.
The handicap, I don't really care about handicap. What is keeping you? I don't care about a bot. This was played too long ago. All right, I guess we'll just see.
Yeah, I don't try to get handicap games. I just go to the like find me a game feature, and it just like automatically gives me one.
I mean, you need to play who's available because you need to play games.
Yeah.
Ideally, you would play someone even level, but it's fine. Okay, so this is most of the game. Hmm. Yeah.
Review started.
Okay. What made you start in the bottom left?
I usually do.
Typically, you want to start in the top right. This is an old tradition, Japanese tradition, but it also makes the board look the same every game. So because if you start at the same spot every game, usually you'll see the same stuff, same patterns, and it'll just help you out. But the reason we picked the top right specifically is because if you think in real life, this is the right hand, and most people are right hand dominant, and you're stretching across the board. So white, who is usually right-handed as well, can play the corner closest to them as a response. And this is old tradition was 3-4s, and so they would let the white player go to the closest corner for themselves out of respect since they're going second. So this is a common courtesy move, and so in pro games they'll always be in the top right.
Okay, did not know that.
But as far as our application goes, courtesy is top right, but typically you want to always start in the same corner, so that way your openings will look the same, so you can play the same type of games, which will give you better practice. I just noticed that you played the bottom left in this game and the top right in the other game, and I'm like, well, you're going to start mirroring the board a little bit, and if you mirror it, it can throw you off sometimes. Like right here, you're playing on the bottom instead of the top, so now it's a little bit different. I know there was a pro player that was a little bit worse in variations, whereas on their bottom side, because they're always looking to the top, what their enemy is or something. So they'll always be trying to do stuff over here. And there was a small weakness in their game where they would miss stuff on occasion on their side of the board.
Interesting.
So yeah, where your stuff is can matter on a very small scale. Okay. Here?
He didn't do the Joseki right, so I was like, how do I punish that? So
Don't. Usually the best punishment is not worrying about the punishment.
Okay.
So what do you want to do? You don't want white to jump up, right? So then just fix it. And then white should die. Yep. Little slow. Unless the cutting point works. Okay, that can be difficult to read, but Tiger's Mouth. Tiger's Mouth
Okay.
or here or something. This one I can get a clamp.
Interesting. Okay.
Just jump back. This is pretty impressive. If I'm white, I want to cut and then answer. So that way I'm stopping the Shamari's extension. What's wrong with this?
Nothing. Just
Well,
playing random moves like a noob.
yeah, this one forces white to get 2 stones right here to attack that damages R14. So if you don't have to, you don't want to. Because you've damaged R14's liberties. But if they're just going to let you connect, then fine and dandy. It's nice. Don't touch single stones. That's a bad move. Push towards the thickness. And then pincer the one that didn't make their base. Don't touch single stones, because touching moves make both sides strong, and you want them to stay weak. When they're the weak group, you want them to stay weak. The longer they're weak, the more profit you get. So by making both sides strong, you've actually helped them out. Probably cross cut. You're the strong one here, so you want to cut. Cut.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. This is fine, I guess. Technically, I would prefer to attack the right, but defense first is not always bad. Okay. Do be careful. They might sacrifice these. Because this is about this big, right? 3 stones, let's add on another ceiling. But they're looking at this. So they might sacrifice it.
Might be Gote.
Yeah.
But
oh no, this is definitely too small. I need to get up here somewhere. Maybe here. You're threatening some squeeze. Cap. Touch.
so it's okay to touch up there because they're already strong. So like, who cares if they get stronger? Kind of
exactly. Touching a strong stone for an invasion is a common strategy. Because who cares if the Shmar gets stronger? Because it's already strong. But forcing me to get strong is going to be good for me because I'm invading you. I want to get strong as fast as possible.
Okay.
So like you could also touch right here, right? Since it's an invasion. Okay. Yeah, you just wiggled your way out pretty quickly. It's fine. Sure. I almost want to ignore it, but it's probably good to just kill it. Good. We could cap though. Because they can't run away.
Oh, okay.
This will always be a Solfatari. So there's no cut right there. So they can't run away.
Okay, I didn't read that correctly.
Okay, looks like your attack is doing pretty decent though. What? That's a weird move. Connect your cutting point is usually the answer, but I think you can even go here. No,
Okay.
because if I do this, Kari, and then I do that. Yeah, just fix the cut is usually the answer. So white's just dead?
Pretty much, yeah.
White
died.
I would take one more move, seal the deal, and then never play on it again. if I just want to seal the deal, because if this comes back to life somehow in the zombie group or something, then I lose like 30 points. Because there's no other move that's going to make me 30 points in one move, right? So if this is dead and I win the game, if it's dead, then just one move, seal the deal, to make it stay dead. Unless you can read everything in here out 100%.
No, I kind of was like, I think it's dead. I'll just assume it's dead and go play other things. And
yeah,
but
assuming and feelings are the two no-nos in Go. It felt like a good move. I assumed it was alive. Yeah, assumptions and feelings are how you lose in Go. You want to know the answer. You want to know it's dead for sure, 100%. If you don't know, you need to read it. Here is really big.
I was worried about my center group getting sealed in. I mean, like the running group from the invasion.
How do you seal it though?
I was imagining a cap on it.
Okay.
And then what would I do?
And then now what?
Oh, what would I do? I guess I could just run diagonals.
Yeah, there's no way to trap this is the problem. But okay, that's fine. If you thought you were going to die, defense first. What are you doing with this move?
That was a dumb idea. I was like, okay, if I
yeah, it doesn't cut.
I cut it off. Yeah.
If it cut, it would be nice. You know what's a great idea? Taking away the base. That's a great idea. White is not alive. This is nice and all, but you're missing all of the end game to do it, and the end game is so much bigger. Oh, especially if you died. You can't die. Can't do that. Now you just wasted everything you just played. This is actually bigger than those 2 stones.
Well, I wanted to make sure that group on the side died. So.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot that was dead. My bad. This is a terrible exchange because you lost points in Sente or in Gote. You lost points in Gote. So yeah, that's not good.
At least I ended up killing him in the end, but
very brave of you. Is this dead? I don't think this is dead.
Well, eventually it dies because he didn't do that move that you just did.
Yeah, this is very important though. You have to keep it dead. It's bigger than any endgame. Oh, bamboo. Bamboos are better. Get these second line moves as fast as possible.
So you told me, endgame. You need to start doing endgame moves and get it first when there's no more weak groups on the board, and there's no big moyos, right?
The center squares are done. All 4 squares are done. So the 4 squares are done, and there's no more weak groups. This is just cuttable. What? What's wrong with this move? Wow. Okay.
That's the advantage of being weak and having weak opponents.
Wait, whoa. What is this move? You said
I was like,
at A that it was dead. You tanukied it. That means you said it was dead in your brain. So if it's dead, why are you coming back to it?
I was like, okay, I need to do endgame moves, and I was supposed to descend on the second line.
Oh, you forgot white was dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Ironically, you actually killed white by doing it. This is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Here's probably better. Connections are your friend. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Everything's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Whoa, Tanuki.
Already dead. Why take the stones?
Yeah, you're worried about a capture race. That's what you're worried about. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a capture race if you had played that. You misread this. The snapback.
Okay.
That is a cutting shape. You need to go here. This is probably going to do nothing. You got to realize there is a cutting point. It just probably does nothing. But here, there's no cutting point.
Yeah.
Ooh. I want to say good reading, but I'm not convinced that you read this entire Go problem out. If you come back to it, that's going to be really bad.
Well, I counted liberties, and I was like, okay, I've got a lot more liberties on my black group than the white group that's caught on the side.
You're right.
So yeah, that's all I did.
As long as you don't come back and second guess yourself, you're right.
Yeah.
This would be a nice endgame move.
Oh. Isn't that just cuttable though? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I want to say that's how it would play out. Well, Sente. Because white might die otherwise.
Okay, so now white started attacking me.
That's
So
fine.
then,
Notice
yeah.
how both A and B, B were yours to play for like 20 moves. But now your opponent got them. So that's easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Close to 10 points. Yeah.
7 or 8 points lost. And then if you double it to because of the Sente value, then it would be 16 points.
Okay.
Okay. No, that's a half point code. Don't worry about that. Save that for the end of the game. Here.
Yeah.
And there's a 2-point move here.
I actually found a really cool way to kill this
Yeah.
bottom group in the end on this game.
This is Gote. You don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Ah! Why not fix?
That was a mistake for sure.
Oh, you didn't trust your reading. Literally, it's an Atari. And you did a fix. Panic. You panicked.
But I got the cut here, which allowed me to kill his entire bottom group, so I got compensation by accident.
Yeah, White just needs to live.
Yeah, he didn't ever go back and live. So
No, why would you start here?
because that could be his second eye. I was aiming at H1 and I said
Hold on.
oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right. That's not a second eye. Dang it.
That is a false eye.
Dang it.
Remember this when you're looking at the eye, when you're looking at an eye, remember that it needs 3 corners to be a real eye. 3 out of 4 corners. If it only has 2, it is not a real eye.
Okay. I will work on that. I should have known that. That's something I'd have learned before, but okay.
Yeah.
So then he didn't see it.
If I go here, is it just dead without go? No, because then he goes here and then Atari. Okay. Yeah. Unwinnable go for White.
Right. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Not as sweet as it would be.
White's life and death is probably their biggest weakness. Your end game can be improved.
Definitely.
Your life and death, I think, needs to be applied more. I think you're being lazy with the life and death here, here, and here. I think
You mean like-
you're not reading them all the way through. Because this move right here and this move right here, and even that move right there, that's 3 times that you messed up a life and death problem. Does that make sense?
So the C5 one, I just kind of panicked and didn't think it through.
Okay, but where does panic come from? It comes from uncertainty. If you had solved it, then you would just know for certain that you're fine. That's what solving it means. So you've read every single variation and you know that there is no chance. I didn't know that spacebar hits play. I accidentally hit the spacebar and the moves started playing on their own. Anyway, you know 100% what the answer is, that there's no chance anything can go wrong if you just read it. Now, that is trusting your reading, and if you are then wrong, you need to learn about why you were wrong and then go drill that shape a couple dozen times. And that way you won't be wrong the next time. In the game, though, doesn't matter if you're playing a pro or whatever, you have to trust your reading. So in the game, read it and then follow through with what you read. And if you're wrong, you learn it in the review. So doubt yourself in the review, trust yourself in the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
good.
it's fine to be, it's understandable that you're like, oh, I panicked, but you have to understand that you panicked because you didn't read it all the way through. Or you quickly read it and just was like, I don't know, click, and didn't trust your reading. So that's what I mean about applying your life and death more. Like, you need to read it, take the discipline, read it all the way through, as long as it's solvable within your level, and then trust what you read. Even if you die, trust it, and then review after if you die. But you have to trust yourself in the game, and then you have to read in the game, because if you're not reading, that's where you get these panic moves, and you get a lot of wasted moves. Because you're not actually reading in the game, and Go is a very deep reading game. It's very reading heavy.
Yeah.
The right side, I think, is a good example of understanding limitations. So, for example, right here,
just followed.
I would say read the life and death. And if you're like, I just can't do that at 13Q. Like, okay, then play until you can. If you can solve it, you can Tanuki sooner. You cannot Tanuki until you have solved it, because it needs to be dead, right? So
Good point, yeah.
If you Tanuki and it comes back to life somehow, you're like, well, dang, I just missed a game-winning opportunity. If the entire game can be decided, that's probably worth investing a minute or two into solving. Depending on your time settings. What are your time settings? 20 minutes? Yeah, you have plenty of time. Probably. It's worth investing the time on game deciding moments. Who cares about the rest of the game if you just win instantly?
Yep.
Yeah, so life and death, or applying your life and death and endgame. That's going to be the big notes for today. So applying your life and death reading and improving your endgame. Those were the topics of today. And we're at...
How do I improve my end game? Do I just are there some videos you might have or anything like that for end stuff?
I would say problems, but I haven't gotten a lot uploaded due to being one human being. Instead of like 5 people, I'm like 1 people. I would say for endgame, the best thing to do is just remember when it starts and to train yourself to, so like right here, to train yourself to look for these second line moves. And really, you need to play the second line moves that are looking into a chunk of territory. Don't just play like a second line move like right here, because you thought that it was alive for a glance second, right? But even if it's alive, how much territory are you threatening right here of whites? Because you already got a stone taking it away, so you didn't threaten anything.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's a life and death problem, but hopefully that makes sense. So you need to threaten a follow-up. It needs to have a follow-up. Okay? And I want you training your eyes to look for these second and first line moves. Second line, first line, second line, first line. And then push these really big borders. Ones that are threatening giant chunks of areas. Push those, push those.
Yeah.
Just push everything that you can push. Actually, do this one first. And then just make sure you're pushing all the big stuff, and keep Sente as long as you can to go there. Keep Sente as long as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you're looking for it, as long as you get a good timing, you get these second first line moves, that's already like improving your in-game by 20 something points. And then of course there are problems and books that you can get. I don't have any sources at the moment, but if you go on Amazon and look for any sort of in-game problem book, that'll be good. Any questions?
No, I think that gives me a lot to work on, so that'll be great.
Where are you at rank wise? 11 points. Oh, you're 12Q. Okay. Hold on, let me fix my notes. You ranked up this week. Nice.
Oh, I didn't even know. I've got it on don't show my rank. So
that's fine for when you're playing the game or whatever, but like you should tune in every week just to make sure you're making progress. You don't need to like stress about it, but you probably want to make sure that you're making progress. All right, you're at 11.5, so you're probably not going to move half a rank in a week. But yeah, I was going to say if you do great, but you just ranked up, so I'm not going to tell you to go rank up again in 1 week. But if you do great, obviously. Okay, I was just checking that real quick. Your game counts are looking good. You could stand to play a little bit more in a month though, because you only played 20 games this month.
Okay.
You're playing 2 a day in the last couple days, so just keep that up, and you'll easily have 60 games, right? Just 2 games a day for a month, and you'll have like 60. 50 plus is a good number to aim for.
50 plus a month.
Ideally, if you want to ask like any like strong Dawn player, they would be like, oh, like 10 games a day, or because that's how they got to Dawn in like a year or two, is just 10 games a day, 10 to 20 games a day.
I can't do that. My brain gets fried after like 2 games.
Yeah, so for adults and people with day jobs and stuff, it's not possible. So I think aiming for 50 a month is a good way to go. But just know that you're probably going to take a couple thousand games to get to 1 Dawn. How fast is it going to take to get to 2,000 if you go 2 games a day, right? So it's about 1,000 days. It's a couple years. So you get what you put in, but I think you'll improve at a decent pace over time, as long as you're putting in about 40, 50 games a month. You'll improve slowly and steadily. But of course,
I'm also doing 100 plus Sumego a day on Sumego Dragon, so...
Yeah, keep doing that. That's very important too. Yeah. Stephanie Yen said if you do a Go problem a day for a year, you'll be 1 Dawn. So,
whoa.
I mean, it's not completely true, but it's not untrue, because if you're doing Go problems and playing games every single day for a year, that's 365 games minimum. That is 36,500 Go problems if you're doing 100 a day like you are. Or 365 Go problems, which probably you need more than 1, but the idea is you're reading every single day for the entire year.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and let you go, and I will see you next time.
Okay, thanks so much.
Bye-bye. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the lesson. Thank you for the follow, Zelcho. Hello, Atari anyone? I think there are too many streamers today. I think everyone's kind of busy. I was checking out 101 earlier. Just comparing the differences between 101 and Sumego Dragon. I'm working on faster Sumego Dragon. So this is what I'm currently working on. So if you look at Sumego Dragon, you're like, I want to go to the daily challenge. It'll go to a different page and load, and that's what you'll see. And I want to go back. I'll go back to the page, it'll load, yada yada, right? But now, if I want to go to the daily challenge, it's supposed to load faster than that. It's supposed to load faster than that. Oh, that's because it did. This button is going to the wrong place. That's why. Ah, it's a bug. This is why it's still in testing. Okay, so that button is wrong. Okay, so now if I want to go to the daily challenge, I go to... Where's my challenge button? Oh, that's why. I'm on the wrong page. index_3. This is the testing page. Sorry. It looks exactly the same. Looks exactly okay. So this is the one. This is the testing page. Boom, daily challenge. Boom, daily challenge. Boom, back to homepage. So much faster. Join Snapback. Level 1. Boom, we're there. Next problem, next problem. Back to the homepage. Boom, we're there. Yeah, onlinego.com is best for beginners. If you want, you can start with our campaign. This will give you some basic shapes. And then Klossy Perch series for strategy. So this is the puzzle site. You can do the Goblin Camp and learn your capture puzzles. Those will teach you the capture wool. You can do the Klossy Perch series, which is a YouTube playlist that I made for learning strategies. So this will give you your tactics and your strategies, and then you just apply them by playing games on OGS, which is the online-go server, or the online Go server at online-go.com. And that should be the 3 things you need to get started, I think. Custom. This is so much faster. I can't get over how much faster it is. Yeah. And just check out the stream if you have questions. I do game reviews a couple times a week. So I can take a look at your games, answer any questions you might have. Usually Thursdays and Fridays when I'm doing game reviews. So if you play something by tomorrow, then you can get a game review tomorrow. All right, I think we'll go ahead and call it there because there are too many people streaming right now. So we're just not really beneficial to go live at the moment. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have been playing games as well, just not on stream. Okay, do we want to raid Midnight or do we want to raid Bats? Probably Midnight. He's pretty entertaining to watch do Go problems. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.